going, people? That's an interesting shooting. I'll give you some more info after we discuss why the cops screwed up. But anyway, traffic stop. They ran a plate. They won't say what kind of warrant he had, but he had a warrant. Now, it could have been a warrant for failure to show up for a traffic light ticket. When they don't say what the warrant is, to me, it usually means it was a poo-butt warrant for BS. If it was a warrant for felony assault or assault and battery with a weapon, or if it was something serious, they would say what the warrant was for. The fact that I can't find what the warrant was for tells me the warrant was probably BS. So anyway, they stop him for a warrant, and here's what they do. Wow, look at all that protecting and serving. Woo! Got a lot of police. Man. A lot of guns, a lot of government, a lot of badges, a lot of uniforms. Nothing's going to go wrong on this one. So they had the standoff for a while. They talked to him, tried to talk him out. Obviously, he's in a van with tinted windows. You got to be careful. Put spike strips behind his tire. Good job. He can't back away. So he's not going anywhere. He also lost his spare tire. But anyway, I digress. So he's not going anywhere. They got spike strips. He's in a parking lot. He's not hurting anybody. What's the rush? Well, government has a way to figure out, make things rushable. Damn, that dude's got some chicken wing shit. Kentucky Fried Chicken be after him for like, yo, man, we're out of wings. Can we use your arms? What the? Rick, he can beat you in arm wrestling. Shut up, big crybabies. So I'm going to bump it again because he just yaps and talks and smokes cigarettes. All right, here we go. The police is in action. Bum, 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 bum. And then the big blue uniforms came with the big bad fire hose that they can't operate because they're not a fireman. So, is a fire hose a technique for minimum force? Look, you can use any minimum force on somebody to get them to comply. I told one of my crazy cop stories where we threw some smoke bombs under a guy's car. We knew he had a warrant. He was in a hotel room. We wanted him to come out instead of going in and get him. So we had a fire department come up and start hosing down his vehicle. We didn't hose him down. Started hosing down his vehicle. He thought his vehicle was on fire. He comes running out of his hotel room, and we put the habeas corpus on him and snag him. And then he gets hooked up. So we've used a fire department, and these are called ruses. Here, they're actually using a fire hose, high pressure, that could possibly, if they squirt him in the eye, it could probably put his eye out, could probably cause permanent damage, could cause mayhem, could cause serious bodily injury. Who thinks a fire hose point blank at this close could cause serious bodily injury and or death? It may not cause death, but I think it could put your eye out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some big red truck people out there who can tell me that a fire hose is, it's not like shit. I could put your eye out with a damn hose that I wash my truck tires with, a high pressure hose. So anyway, they got a fire hose out. Was that a good move? We'll discuss it when we get more information on why they said they did it. So the planning and the timing here was kind of out of whack here. This guy just squirted him for a long time. Why the hell weren't all these cops up here immediately when they broke the window? Rick, you're not a policeman and you don't know it's a really tough job and we're all heroes. Okay. This dude's like, I'm going to get me some. Yeah! Yeah, I'm tired of you pesky citizens. I'm going to get me some. Okay, so here comes Billy Bob. Now look, this dude's jumping out this window like he's scared. Okay? And he's jumping out like he's on a mission. Now, they said, his wife said that he's been on a crazy meth binge. He's been living out of his van for a week. To me, this looks like a meth look. I've seen people come like this at me before, and they're usually cranked up. And crank is a term for methamphetamine. Hell's Angels used to keep crank in their crankshaft, so they used to call it crank. But methamphetamine, any stimulant, cocaine doesn't seem to create the violence that meth and crystal meth and crack causes. But this could be a somebody smoking crack look or a methamphetamine look. He's like, oh yeah, you want some? You gonna squirt me with a hose? Oh hell no. It's go time. Okay, so I'm not really understanding why they didn't grab him or tase him. He's wet. A taser would probably work pretty good. You have multiple officers. I want to say at least 15 to 20 officers there. You got one guy. You got a warrant that they aren't telling us what the warrant is for. And this guy was just refusing to get out of the van, and the van had spike strips. What was the urgency to do this? You hear a lot of cops yelling knife, and then you hear gunshots. He's standing up, but he's dead. Ricky's not dead, he's standing up. He's shot, and he dies after he falls. He was probably dead right here. He just didn't know it. That's why cops don't usually fire one round. They fire multiple rounds, because even if one round would stop him, if somebody was close enough, if there was a hostage or somebody close enough, or if he had a gun, he could still be returning fire, or he could stab somebody. So they're keeping their distance. He's probably in shock right now, but he drops down on the ground and he's dead. And they're still squirting him, and now you hear the crowd getting pissed off. Why are you shooting him? Look, I'm all for people holding government accountable, but look, guy's got a warrant. He knows a bunch of cops around him. He climbs out the car and he tries to go for a knife, and he's still fighting. He gets shot. I question why. What was the urgency to get a fire hose out there and start squirting and breaking windows and forcing the issue when you had him detained?
Hey, what the fuck you shooting for? Hey, what are you shooting for?
A lot of cops, a lot of guns, a lot of blue. Man, those guys in blue, man, they're like always Johnny on the spot. You know, they're always there to shoot their guns. It's kind of cool the way they, you know, when they shoot, there's usually like 20 of them. One, two. See if I can get a clearer picture. How many damn cops we got here? 2, 4, 6. All right, maybe 10 or 15. I'm sure there's a bunch in the background. Probably a lot of women in the background hiding back behind the cars, fixing their nails, maybe fixing their hair. And the fire department's coming. Woohoo! The big red truck was on the scene.
Okay, I'm gonna help you right now. Yeah, we need a...
And they're doing CPR, but he's dead. You see the knife sheath there? Now, here's what I don't understand. It's here, and in a minute, they're going to show a picture of it against the curb here. So I thought he was reaching in his pocket or going for something, and if there was a knife in that case and he was reaching for it, I'm okay with this shooting. I just was wondering why they forced it.
Can I hack?
And they're setting up the crime scene. And here's where they're going to show some pictures of the car. And I think the knife here is coming up. There's the knife right there. Almost looks like a gun. So what I'm thinking is when they were doing CPR and they were cutting him off looking for other injuries, they probably pulled his belt off and some cop just tossed it over there. But it was on his side there. Maybe that was another one. I don't know. But my big thing was, what the hell was the purpose of this fire hose? So here's what the story said about it. So according to the story, the widow of the armed man who was shot and killed by police following a violent scuffle spoke to Eyewitness News, stemmed from a traffic stop, what was caught on camera. The suspect's estranged wife, she's going to say in a minute that she thinks the cops shouldn't have shot him and should have helped him, who asked not to be identified him as 33-year-old Michael Perez, who was here illegally, who was here visiting. Officers pulled over Perez, who parked in a white van and was driving and shopping center 100, blah, blah, blah. It is unclear why Perez was pulled over. That doesn't matter. Cops got to shoot their man. When police ran to place the vehicle, it showed there was an outstanding warrant. Again, nobody wants to say the warrant. I can't find out what the warrant was. The traffic stop then escalated when police said Perez produced a gas can inside the van. Okay, so that changes things. When I first saw it, I was questioning, why do we have a fire hose and why are we forcing the issue? He has a gas can, he lit a cigarette. So, government had to save him. Now, me personally, you want to light yourself on fire? I'm okay. I'm going to stand back. We're not going to force the issue. We're not going to do something that ends up getting us killed or getting you killed. We're going to sit back, and if you decide to light yourself on fire, I'm not going to kill you in order to save you. And that's what government seems to be doing now. So what? He has a gas can and he's got a cigarette. If he lights himself on fire, cops can't be playing. Government was there. Government was there to make sure he didn't hurt anybody else. But if he kills himself, let him kill himself. No. Government wanted to come in, save him with the fire hose, force him out of the car, and then shoot him when he fights. And now they killed him in order to save him. And I know there's going to be people, Rick, you're blaming the cops and it's not their fault. It's government. It's the government bureaucracy that somehow they say we have no right to protect you. And we can stand outside a school shooting while kids are getting shot. And we do not have to respond if you're getting raped or killed. And we can pull out of areas when there's riots because it's not safe for us. And you pesky citizens are on your own. But then people want to defend the cops when here, the only person that was in danger was the guy inside the car. And they wanted to go in and save him somehow, even though they have no duty. And then they end up killing him. Perfect. After talking to him outside the window, crept up on the caster and busted out the window. Instead of forcing him out of the vehicle, Perez moved to the back of the van. Why did he move to the back of the van? Because the dumbass cops moved to the front of the van and squirted him. If they wanted him to get out of the van, why didn't they break the back window and shoot the fire hose through the back window? That would have forced him out of the car. No. Those brilliant freaking two brain cells blue line idiots run to the front door and then shoot him from the front and force him to the back. But Rick, they were trying and they should get a participation trophy. All right, give them a participation donut. I don't give a shit. I've been here for 22 years. I don't know if I've ever had a plan like this. I think it was an excellent idea. Oh, of course it was. Because he got killed and no cops got hurt. Instead of just letting him light himself on fire if he wanted to. Maybe he wouldn't have lit himself on fire. Maybe if you guys hadn't forced the issue, he'd have gave up. No, Rick. Cops did great because they're blue line heroes and the government's good. Video shows Perez coming out of the drive door scuffle yelling the word knife before 2 shots are fired. He was armed with a knife when the shooting occurs. It was on his belt. Perez rushed to the hospital where he later died. No officers were involved. Woo! Man, officer safety. Woohoo! Man! So here we have the trusty firemen, or I'm sorry, the policemen who want to be firemen, or the firemen that want to be policemen, so they let them play with their big hose. Whatever. We come to the front of the van and watch this guy move forward. He didn't know how to work the hose. So he gives the guy a chance. Had he shot him now, because he didn't know how to work the damn hose, he might have forced him out. So now the guy climbs to the back, and he moves to the front and squirts him in the back. But Rick, he was trying to get him out. Okay. All right. Wonderful job. Great. The blue line. Another isolated incident where the police tried to save him, and they end up shooting him. Isolated incident number 4,236. Y'all have a good day. We'll end it there.